Okay. Section 2. Do you really get a preamble before this? After, honestly, maybe they'll get cuter names in editing. Because Section 3 has a cute name. Section 2. The Hades and Persephone of it all. Chapter 33 of A Court of Thorns and Roses to Chapter 13 of A Court of Fury and Mist. The sluttiest thing a man can be is aloof. And that is what our great and powerful slut is. I love Reese. I've been just trying to, as I write my notes, re-listen to the story and make sure that my notes are still good, but I can still keep it pretty fluid for y'all here. And boy howdy, if that man isn't a slut. If Sarah J. Maas isn't just putting all the slutty things on him.
Double whammy.
Back muscles. Back arm muscles. Pectoral abs. It's 2016, 2017. There are tattoos. He is a slut. Like, the sluttiest thing you can be is aloof, but kind. Literally, the entire concept of the city of New York. So, Farah is under the mountain now. Like, cool, it's fine. She gets under the mountain, and she's like, I'm gonna sneak in, I'm gonna steal Tamlin, I'm gonna leave. I only care about Tamlin. Tamlin. I'm telling you, Tamlin makes her a more selfish person. Because looking back on it, you're like, but wait a second, that wouldn't free everyone else. It would just free you, or it would just free the summer court, or it would just bring the spring court. And then you're just like, that's the point. You selfishness. She gets under the mountain and is immediately, I'm just going for Tamlin. Fuck Tamlin. So, she gets under the mountains, immediately is grabbed by the adder, the devil from the Bible. And, like, as I've listened to this book, 4 times at this point, I'm like, they are red like the devil. My brain is just like, oh, Kanye West sound. His skin more red than the devil is. But pops him up, she grabs her. They don't even bother disarming her. She's such a non-threat. She gets the crap beat out of her by the adder after she makes an agreement. The agreement is that she has to fight through 3 challenges once a month on the full moon. Once a month for 3 months. Full moon. She's got to do that. In between then, she's got to do some tasks and stuff to earn her keep, demoralize her. And then if she beats the task, she's free. She's free. And her and Tamlin are free. And I believe the spring court? Yeah, so she's got to beat the bit. So she gets the crap beat out of her, they take her to her cell. And then guess who comes to visit her? Are you thinking the man that she's literally risking it all for? No. BFF Lucian shows up. BFF, girl boss pussy stunt. Or GPF, who's not G. He's just besties. Just unqualified besties with Farah comes and is like, yikes on bikes, girlfriend. Whoa. You're beat up. Can't do too much because Amarantha will notice. But bippity boppity boop. And guess who's here, baby hand? I'm going to fix your nose. Boop. Her broken nose gets fixed. She's still all bruised in the face. But she can breathe and she can see. She's in a stankin' cold dungeon. It's stanky. It's gross. So she gets dragged into the foyer the next couple days later, and Amarantha's like, I don't know your name, girl. How am I supposed to be beefing with you when I don't even know your name? And I want to properly beef. I want to properly beef with you. So she then is like, tell me your name. And she's like, silent. So she's like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to break you. And then she pulls Lucian out of the crowd. Again, Lucian's looking to Tamlin, not Farah. Farah is looking at Tamlin. Tamlin's looking at Lucian. That man was not good for you. That man was toxic. I did not like him. And so he, after Amarantha's like, okay, Rhysand, do your little mind wipey thing. Blow this man's mind. Farah's like, I do not want that, because I felt what it felt like just to have him rub his talons on your thinking parts. And it was not fun. So she gives Amarantha her name. You will remember this. The reader will remember this. So at this event, Amarantha is also like, you've got to beat a riddle. Where's my phone? Okay. Cool. Here we go. There are those who seek me a lifetime, but never we meet. And those I kiss who trample me There are those who seek me a lifetime, but never we meet. And those I kiss, but who trample me beneath ungrateful feet. At times I seem to favor the clever and the fair, but I bless all those who are brave enough to dare. By large, my administrations are soft-handed and sweet, but scorned I become a difficult beast to defeat. For though each of my strikes lands a powerful blow, when I kill, I do it slow. And it's like, what is it? Okay, well, I was like, a spider? Because I'm dumb. But I've never been good at riddles. I don't like thinking on my feet like that. Closest I can get to a riddle is like Family Feud. I'm terrified of riddles. So she's got her way out. And this time, Farah bargains that if she beats this one, the entire spring court can go immediately. She makes sure to remember that bargain. She spent some time thinking, oh crap, wait a second, did I? But she makes this bargain. And she's like, alright, yeah, okay, cool, you're bargaining, that's cute. So, we enter in our little pillars. I have Roman numerals for these. So, we are entering the great land of hurt, comfort, and extreme pining. I think at this point the pining is simply me pining for love and romance for a character that is deeper than a cardboard cutout of a man. But, I never liked Tamlin, so I just didn't find him to be, like... I found Farah coming out of her shell and then absolutely sending this man to the bone zone immediately to be much more zesty than my actual, like what I listen to, what I read a book about Tamlin just, going through the war. No, because there's no, Tamlin is just too perfect. It continues to try and make the best decision. It ends up being worse because there's no risk and thus there is nothing to gain. It's simply staying the course. But, whatever. But we get into the great land of hurt, comfort, and extreme pining. Rhys is an evil whore of Amarantha, enters the fray as unlikely help. Because I can't imagine you can read this book and you're like, Tamlin and Farah, I ship it, I love it. And then this dark motherfucker appears and you're like, ow! What do I do with these feelings? All right, so 1, Farah gets the brakes beaten off of her by the adder, and Lucian comes to heal her broken nose. 2, Farah has to fight and kill the Alaskan bullworm. From SpongeBob. She is like, I'm a hunter, I'm a hunted. It's MBD. It's very big deal because just as she's about to do the killing blow, she manages to get a bone jammed into her arm. I personally can't tell if she broke her own bone in it or if she just got stabbed with the filth mud bone. But whatever. She gets bone. She is boned. She wins but is injured by her own trap. And then the evil Reese in the next, she's like hangs out for a couple days hoping Lucian comes, but he doesn't. And then she's starting to get real sickly. The hurt is coming. The hurt is here. The comfort is coming. The pining is only happening on my behalf right now. But she's like, lol, and Reese shows up and is like, hey bestie, I think you should let me heal you. And she's like, no. And he's like, absolutely you should, and we should bargain for it. And she's like, no. And then he's like, I guess I'm gonna leave then, because I'm not dealing with your dumbass. He just like diddles a little bit, and then she's like, wait, I'm gonna die. She like has a moment where she's like, oh crap, this fever I'm feeling is the beginnings of infection. Lucian does not understand how the human body works. He is going to leave me to die. So she's like, sure, you win this round. I will in fact let you heal me. But he's finally like, okay, let's barter. He's like 2 weeks out of the year, 2 weeks out of the month, you gotta come and hang out with me. She's like, 3 days. He's like, okay, dummy, 10 days. And she's like, 10. And he's like, 12. And she's like, 7 days. And he goes, deal. So if she wins, because that's a big part that they keep pretending like that's not important, but whatever, for 7 days, he believes in her. He believes she's going to win. That 7 days out of each month, she has to come to the night court and hang out with him and live with him. And she also, Reese bet on her in the fight with the Alaskan bullworm. He made a lot of money because everyone else bet that she was gonna die in the first minute, and then one or a couple of people were like, she's gonna make like 5 minutes. And then, because it's like a great scene, like I've listened to it a couple of times, it's a great scene of her just like ingenuity, like quick on her feet. Like Farah is illiterate, but she is not stupid. Specified that obviously Reese heals her. That's the important thing. That's actually important. Okay. Megan, you'll have to cut this in. So they come to an agreement with the barter, and he's like, bippity boppity bap, and he gives her the most 2016 sleeve of like a Mandela up from the tips of her fingers all the way here. She's got a cat eye in the palm of her hand. Like, it's sick. It's sick. It's like party. It's so 2016. I love it. It's cringe. I love it. No notes. It's like me and these skinny brows. Like, we love when things are a marker of their time. Timeless? Who cares? It's like, and it's just innocuous enough that to me it like, I know that as something that's like super 2000, like mid 2010s. But to someone who isn't a culture vulture like I am, they could just be like, oh, a tattoo? No, a tattoo that's a lace glove. And then he's gonna have mountains on his knees. It's so 2000. It's so 2010s. I love it. No notes. So she gets the tattoo and now is marked because in the night court they make agreements using they mark agreements with tattoos. He just flash tattoos, flash bangs it onto her body, and then she's like, oh no, and she gets healed. Yay for her. Her cell still smells like vomit, but you know what? She's not in pain anymore. In between each trial, Farrah has to do some menial tasks, manual labor. So the first one is she has to clean this dirty floor, and but she only has dirty water to do it with. So luckily, the Lady of the Fall Court, Lucian's mom, comes by and is like, you saved my son, and you gave your name in exchange for my son's life. Bippity boppity boop. And she makes the water clear. I didn't say bippity bop boop. And Farrah is able to clean the foyer, and then is taken back to her room. And the next day, she's taken to another person's room. And, I'm looking at my notes. Taken to someone's room and is like, the master of this room, the housekeeper, the cleaner of this room, spilled lentils in the fire. Clean all the lentils out of the fire. So she has to clean lentils out, needle in a haystack. But there are so many needles in this haystack. So she has to do that. And while she's doing that, the occupier of this room comes in, and guess who it is? Guess who it is? It's Reese. It's for these, so we'll just... So Reese is in there, and he's like, he's like, why are you here? And she's just like, I don't know. Amarantha? And he's like, yeah, probably. But I don't actually give that much of a shit about if you're in here. I think you're funny. I think you're spicy. You're like a spicy little broad. Because if you read the book, if you didn't, I'll explain. At the beginning of the book, Farrah is very afraid of Tamlin and Lucian, and like shuts up and is not like catty and doesn't go. It takes her a couple of days to get comfortable enough that they're not gonna murder her. That she's like witty back and forth. Ah, ha, ha, you're an asshole. Ah, ha, ha, you're she gets there, but it is not a quick. Farrah is immediately like, you're a preening asshole who likes to stare at his pretty body, and I don't have time to be afraid of you. And he's like, I like that. You're spicy. She has the tenacity to ask him if he knows the answer to the riddle. He's like, I can't tell you, baby doll, but love the energy. So he then boops the thingy, the lentils out of the fire, and they talk for a little bit, but it's mostly about the trial. And then he's like, go. So the little minions come and get her, and he mind melts them to be like, hey, you're not gonna have her do any more of these stupid tasks. They're a waste of time. And if someone tells you to do them, you're gonna ram a knife into your body. And Farrah never has to do that. And also, every meal she gets is now warm instead of having cold meals in the cold dungeon that she vomits in. She was vomited a whole bunch. Like, I had a vomit counter. They're not on any of my notes. Farrah has vomited like 5 times in this book. And that's way more than in any other YA book I've read. New adult, young adult book. It is a lot. So, like, this is actually stupid. And Magic's Farrah out of having to do all these tasks. But he switches which task she has to do to something that is technically more degrading and more hurtful to Tamlin. But the fanfic the person who's like, women's autonomy and human rights is like, this is bad. The part of me that's like, spicy fanfiction is like, yes! So, Farrah ends up getting pulled into, so at night she can rest, and she's got nice warm food to eat. She doesn't have like nice clothes or whatever, but at night she is now an escort for Reese. He dresses her up in like night court fashion, which is like barely their clothing. It's like this draping of like fabric in like over her breasts and then like down, and then one like loincloth piece. Think Princess Leia plus, you know, some draperies from some curtains. And then she's painted so that you can tell if she's been touched. Reese's magic works so that his hands aren't gonna fuck it up. But someone else touches her, he'll know, she'll know, he'll know. And you know, it's embarrassing for her. Like, she's painted everywhere. Like, she's literally painted from like here down, like cooch and all. Which they took time to be like, yeah, I almost kicked one of my ladies in waiting in the face for painting my vagine, which unbelievably funny to me because I'm a child. So she gets all done up by these two ladies in waiting. They're shadow wraiths. Takes her down there. She's all dressed up. Tamlin's there looking sad. She's wriggling diggling. Reese feeds her, gives her wine to drink. The wine makes her black out, and she doesn't remember anything else that's happening. For the rest of the night, she just wakes up kind of sore. And she's not smudged or anything, so that's good. She does some slutty dancing, which is like very funny because, I don't know, maybe my imagination's not that creative. It took me a couple of times reading it to realize that it's like, Spring Court is like, oh, they're doing like line dances and, you know, do-do-do-do-do. And then like at the Night Court, they're just like bust and grind, just like throw them hips in a circle. It's like so much more modern over at the Night Court. We'll get into it. I have notes. We'll get into it in section 4. But she gets to eat food. She's tired. She's being hoed out to embarrass Tamlin. But I mean, she's getting fed, so boop-bop. It's time for the trial number 2. She just has to interpret this poem that's not read to her, and she has to pick the numbers, these slots, 1, 2, 3, and it's not just her own demise that's on the table. On the other side is also Lucian, so if she fucks this up, it kills her and Lucian. Again, best friend Lucian. No notes about Lucian. I love Lucian. He didn't do anything wrong in this. It's your bro. So the problem is Farah can't read. Farah learned how to write letters and was tracing words and trying to teach herself how to read at the Spring Manor, but she never got that far. So homies SOL. Until evil bad man Reese gets all up in her mind and is like, two. She has like the worst logic for making a judgment. I actually think it's 3. But she's like, it's 2 because 1 is lonely and 3 is 3 sisters living in a house until they hate each other. 2 is me and Tamlin together. Oh, Tamlin. And I'm just like, ugh, girl, look, he is not looking at you. He's not looking at you the way Reese is looking at you. I'll tell you what. So Reese gets into her mind. Is like, it's number 3. It's 3. So she's like trying to read, and she's just like sweating, and of course she's sweating. Her friend is on the line, but of course it's like. So she finally is like, okay, I guess I'm pulling a number 3. She does. It saves them. She's about to have a full mental breakdown. And she doesn't, because Reese is like, you fucking get it together. You go over there, you look her dead in the eyes, and then you walk away. Because at the end of her first trial, she was so like running high on adrenaline that she just like threw a bone at Amarantha, bad bitch style, and it's like, yeah. He's like, that gets under Amarantha's skin, that embarrasses her. We're gonna do that. So she goes off to her room, and she's crying. I believe that's when this happens. Yeah. So Reese using their bond together to communicate. Also, she doesn't have any mental shields. So it's hard to tell in this first book what are bond things and what are just her mind is a mall in middle America. But Reese comes to her room afterwards and she was just like weeping because he was like, you were not going to cry in front of her. You were going to be strong. So, of course, she's strong. And he comes up and she's crying in her jail cell and he licks her tears like a freak off her cheeks. Jail. But also, yes, correct. I love Reese. No notes, because that's some weird shit. That's some weird soulmate shit where you're just like, oh, it's literally the equivalent of don't be sad, you're so sexy. Ah, licks tears off cheek. He comes to her cage and licks the tears all over her face like a freak. But low key, it's cute as hell. I will not be taking notes at this time. So a depressed Feyre is no longer thinking in color. This is kind of important for next book. She's like, I died a little bit. I think I died that day. Part of me died. If Reese hadn't come in and licked my face, all of me would have died. But part of me died that day, and I will never emotionally recover from that. I can't think in colors, because throughout all of this, and, that's a thing that I noted, is that Feyre is an illiterate, uneducated, pig dweller. From the age of, 14, for the past 4 years, and really before then, she can't read, yet she knows so much about paintings. She walks through the Spraying Manor house and is like, oh wow, that's an impressionist piece instead of a still life. And it's like, and you have these words, not that she doesn't know that, this thing isn't a one-to-one recreation. It's the fact that she knows that those words. And interesting choice, Mass. Interesting choice. But whatever. She's no longer thinking in paintings. She can no longer think of colors or her future with Tamlin. Thank God. Feyre, as she's sitting in her cell looking very sad, hears music. The reader will remember this. It's a very specific tune, and it's not like the music she would hear at the slutty sock hops that she was forced to go to. So she's focuses on the music and is interesting. So it's the night before her last trial. This is the one for all her marbles. And she's like, if I can just get through this night, I'll black out for most of it and then I'll go home and sleep. I might be a little hungover, but whatever. Feyre gets done up for the party. Reese leaves her alone for 5 minutes. 5 fucking minutes. Literally 5. And Tamlin ambles up beside her, gets her attention, and the two disappear behind a corner. And he was like, you know what? We could have... My one true pet peeve is in these, young adult books where the tension is at its highest. The main character is like, you know what? This is the perfect time to throw giblets at each other. So they then immediately have Mormon soaking sex standing up on a wall. And Reese catches them and is like, bro, what the hell? Mind you, she's painted. The magic does not work for Tamlin, so he has smudged her paint. And he's like, yo, get the fuck out of here, you horny old rat bastard. Get. So he shuffles him out and then is admonishing her and is like, hey, that was very stupid of you. That was very stupid of both of you. And then Amarantha shows back up and he immediately, Like, he senses it and immediately throws his mouth on her. Kiss cam! First kiss cam! But he's like not quite touching her, but is like in the general area of these bits and is kissing her. And Amarantha comes in with the group and he's like, haha, you know, she's just so hot. She's sexy. So Amarantha is not fully impressed though, and Farrah's pissed for the first second and is like, ugh, and then she's like, actually, it probably wasn't a great idea for us to be throwing giblets at each other at this point in time. Reese sends her back to her cage, and he is, and she's like, ugh, and she doesn't get a chance to party with the rest of them or drink, so she has to just be awake. He comes after her and is like, I'm so tired and lonely. And the two of them have a large heart. Help! And none of this. Tamlin does none of this. He does not risk a single inch. I hate that man. Ugh. So, in my notes, I have some, I was like, I don't know why I don't make my notes pretty. They don't have to be utilitarian. I can have fun. I'm allowed to have fun. So I have little, like, sayings. So I have, like, kiss cam. And because I'm tired and lonely, finna nut, as one of my quotes. And I also have, bro, I would die for love, which is me at this point. And Tamlin is a lying liar of liar. So it's the time for the, oh, and that's where my notes come in. Cool. All right. So that's why you take notes. So it is time for the third trial. Farrah is ready Freddy to do the damn thing. When the damn thing enters, and it's Farrah has to kill 3 innocents. Farrah has to kill 3 innocents. The first guy is like screaming, crying, begging her not to kill him, and she's like, stab, with ash daggers. The second woman is a girl that looks kind of like her, and she's just softly praying. It's giving Aerith from Final Fantasy VII, as she just, and that one it felt way worse. She's like, oh shit, new trauma unlocked. This is deathbed, and you think this is time for fucking? Be fucking for real. I think I'm very funny. Okay. So she does this kill. Before we get to our third fairy, which you might know, you might not know. I'd like to state for the fact, and maybe this makes me a terrible person who lacks empathy, or maybe it just makes me a revolutionary who should be in charge of the revolution. But I don't have an issue with the trolley problem. I really don't. If the idea is that you are going to save more people than you are going to kill, that is so easy for me, and I am so sorry. You're gonna kill the child? If that child means that 700 people get to live, innocent people get to live, then yes, I'm going to kill that child. I'm sorry. It's like something that, I don't know if that's like the touch of the autism, because I haven't gotten tested, or if that's the ADHD that fucks with the brain chemistry, because I haven't tested for that. I just don't have an issue with that. So the idea that she's like, I have to kill these sad innocents. I'm not saying I'd be like gung-ho about it. I'm not like looking for a reason to commit unalive. But her just being like, do it. And it's like, yeah, for I guess, for Tamlin and for the Spring Court, again, this never would have worked out. So, it's in Benito. We have, let me know your thoughts on the trolley problem down below. So, it's now time for Fair to do the third fairy. She's looking up at the dais. Tamlin is up there looking stone-faced. He never has any emotion. She's like seeing things in his eye. He's like, his green eyes danced. And I'm like, girl, water is wet. Fish swam. Ugh. So, she looks up to the dais. Tamlin's looking sad. Amarantha's looking bloodthirsty because you know a twist is coming. Oh, you wanted a twist? Death drop. So, Shablam? I don't know what we're calling them anymore. But she takes off the mask, and it's Tamlin. Tamlin's under there, and she now has to remember a thing that Alice couldn't tell her before, and the very weird wording. It is that, when Amarantha had them prone, she stole their hearts. He doesn't have a heart. You can't kill him with the heart. But she wasn't allowed to know that. So after she, Jimmy Neutron brain blasts her way into these thoughts, she just stabs him. But he doesn't start healing. And she's like, no. Amarantha's like, jolly good show. But actually, jolly good show. Oh my god, pick up the phone. It's your daughter. Jolly good show. But actually, no. And now all the other fairies that are around are losing their mind. They're like, that's actually not what you agreed to. You're a cheater. Which is like, why would you expect literal the devil from the Bible to be, restrained by petty agreements? But whatever. Farrah's like, oh god, well, if that's not gonna work, I gotta think about what the riddle is, because then Amarantha starts breaking all the bones in her body, and your boy, Rhys, not Tamlin, Rhys just holds her and goes, let her go, let her go, like, bestie, she's not gonna let you go, she's not a good person. So, she's literally, her back is breaking. Rhys is running up trying to kill her. Takes the ash dagger and is like, stab, stab. So cute. Again, hurt, comfort, pining. She's just like, the answer is love. The answer is love! And Amarantha, while she's trying to think of what the answer is to the riddle, is just like, now tell him say that you don't love him and that you don't love your fickle heart. Like, Amarantha's whole deal is her sister fell in love with a human. The human was like, I'm going to take this to my advantage. I'm going to be advantageous. And was in love with another human, half fae, half human woman who was in love with another fae. Is that a love Miriam, Draken, it should be Draken, Miriam, Jorgen, Jurgen, Clethia. Like, love square, love trap. But because Jorgen was in love with Miriam, and Miriam was in love with Draken, there's some shit that happens, and then Jurgen becomes so absolutely bloodthirsty with power. Oh my god. That it's unappealing to Miriam. And she runs off with her fae husband. We'll learn about that later. The reader will remember that. The viewer will remember that. But he's like crazy, and because she's so crazy about what he did to her sister, that it makes her crazy because she's just like, all humans have fickle, untrue hearts. And interesting thoughts. My cheeks are so pretty. So after all that, because of the agreement of the bargain, when Farah announces love, the powers come back. Tamlin is like, finally. Lucian throws a sword. Again, Lucian throws a sword to Tamlin. Tamlin stabs her in the throat, in the face, and then rips her throat out. Bro, too far. But she's dead. Rhys doesn't get to have the killing blow. He deserved the killing blow, though. He should have gotten it. He was the only one trying to help her before. So, but right as Farah doesn't actually get to read this information through her own eyes, because after Farah says love and is like, I know the word, I know this riddle, Amarantha snaps her neck. Just snaps her neck like a toothpick. So Tamlin goes beast mode, kills her, but we are seeing this through Rhys's eyes. Why is that? What's that? What's that? What's that? So, laying on the ground, neck snapped. She really sister snapped. And he's just like standing, everyone's standing over her body, and Rhys is like, if you don't give this bitch your powers, I swear to God, I'll come into your brain and retch it out myself. So if all the High Lords, because everyone's trapped in the mountains, gives a little creme, a little salt bay, trinkle of their powers, and she wakes up. She's alive. She's like, oh, Tamlin. Okay. Whatever. She wakes up and some things happen, things that I don't care about and don't care to remember. And then Tamlin and Farah literally covered in the blood of dead fae. These earrings are from Nectar Beauty. Literally covered in the blood of dead fae. Bone. And they're having, like, she's getting active. And all I can think is, you're covered in the blood of dead fae. Go to jail. Go to hell jail. Hell jail for you. Farah, after getting her Jimmy Johns jambled, wakes up and is being called to something. And so she follows it. And it's Rhys. Rhys is like, hey, I'm gonna head out of here before things get weird. And she's like, that sounds like a good idea. He goes, you're high fae. And she's like, I'll always have this mortal heart. And then, okay, so, it's like, I haven't made any reference to Twilight yet. Because Twilight wasn't really my bag. Harry Potter and Twilight were a little bit before me and my interest in reading YA. I was still reading Magic Tree House, if you're catching my drift. But I love the Twilight movies. It's my comfort film series. Like the X-Men franchise. The like original X-Men. I like to watch those movies. Love, Storm, Jean Grey, Sucky Waterhouse. But, Robert Pattinson Edward does this thing when he first catches a whiff of Bella's hair. And you may have seen the viral tweet from Trin Lavelle, where she's like, he saw her, was like, damn, that bitch stank. But Reese pops out his wings, his fairy man wings, takes off into the sky, is gonna say something catty and, fun, witty back and forth banter between a hero and a villain. And then he gets the stank of her in there, and it's like, and she's like, he's like, gotta go, bye. So I can finish up my thoughts about book 1. Okay, so after that, they go back to the spring court, and Farrah's like, I'm a different person now. I'm gonna marry Tamlin. I love you, Tamlin. At some point, Tamlin gives her an emerald engagement / wedding ring. Okay, so that's book 1, and you might be thinking that's the end of the section. It is not. Because this section is the Hades Persephone of it all. The pining. We are only at the base of our arc. We're only at the base. We're not even the rising action. We're still building because we haven't really started the pining. We are simply hurt comfort. And Farrah is still very hurt. And I'm very much still needing some comfort. Feral. Eating tinfoil. Chewing. Biting. Makes me want to eat a candle. Some notes. I'm gonna go through my voice notes quickly to see if I have anything worth saying about this section of the book. But I love my note that is from my first reading, which is me to my boyfriend Charles, and being like, I love all of my step-husbands equally. Cut to book 2. I don't much care for Tamlin. Oh my god. Feral. If you're like, why doesn't Megan always have nails on? Megan wants her eye makeup to match her fucking... She just said no. She just decided no. I'm actually not going to be a part of this.